بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد. We are going to give my presentation on artificial intelligence, IA, and ethics. For the second part, we will focus mainly on the definitions of the two concepts of the presentation, presented by Professor Mohamed-Khireddine as part of the study day of ethics and deontology academic conduct organized by the University of Biskra in collaboration with the Association of Former Aides of University Establishment on May 23, 2024. So we will follow this plan of 9 parts, which begin with the introduction, then the definitions, and the conclusion and references. But in this presentation, we are only interested in the second part, that is to say the definitions. Here in this part, we will essentially talk about the definitions of the two concepts that are the subject of our presentation. That is to say ethic and artificial intelligence. In this part 2 of the definitions, we will follow the following subplan of part 2. We cannot talk about ethics without addressing the notion of deontology. Therefore, we will, of course, see the definitions of two terms. At the same time, we will say the definitions of the term artificial intelligence. Firstly, in ethics and deontology, we have how to define ethics, how to define deontology, what is the difference between ethics and deontology, what is the importance of ethics and deontology, what are the rules of ethics, distinction between ethics and deontology, responsibility in relation of the consequences. In artificial intelligence, we have definition of intelligence, operational definition of artificial intelligence by Turing test, definition of artificial intelligence, example of agent types and their description, PEAS, performance, environment, actor, and sensor. Example of task environment and their characteristics. So, we cannot talk about ethics without talking about deontology or professional conduct. We are going to look at the question of how to define ethics. Now we will address the question how to define deontology or professional conduct. As see in the drawing, we have several types of knowledge. Now, knowledge how, knowledge how to live, knowledge how to be, knowledge how to say, knowledge how to do and doing, and knowledge how to do. But in the premier definition of how to define ethic, the term ethic is taken from the Greek term ethos, which means way to living. Ethics in a branch of philosophy which is interested in human behavior and more precisely in the conduct of individual in society. It is a bit of knowledge how to uh, live in society. In the second definition, how to define deontology, the term deontology or professional conduct designates the respect of good practices specific to each trade or profession. It's rooted on mean what should be done. It is a bit of know how to do in social professional environment. Through good story or more recently, many professions have adopted charter of deontology or professional conduct and ethics, such as the Charter of Academic Deontology of Professional Conduct and Ethics. What is the difference between ethics and deontology? Ethics is not just about conforming to a set of standards. It includes a set of values and therefore refers to a certain organizational culture. On the other hand, the code of deontology writer refers to the culture of profession. What is the difference entre ethic and deontology? It helps resolve situations where the obligations of professional toward the client and toward the public are difficult to reconcile, uh, as well as situations where the value of the professional group come into conflict with the other value or interested worthy of consideration. What are the rule of deontology? The referent rule of deontology or professional conduct are derived from to five basic principles of deontology: integrity, objectivity, professional skill or diligence, confidentiality, and professional behavior. Now, we will say the distinction between ethics and deontology. The word deontology or professional conduct designates all of the duties uh, and obligations imposed on members of an order or a professional association or a group. Like the rule of law and the rule of deontology apply identically to all members of the group in all situations of the exercise of the activity. An authority is responsible for enforcing them and imposing sanction in the event of violation of the rules. It is not necessary to comply with the ethics to reflect on the value that underlie them or even to share these values. Ethics, on the contrary, invites the professional to first reflect on the value which motivate its action and to subsequently choose on this basis the most appropriate course of action. Now, from the point of view, the responsibility in relation to consequences, from a deontological point of view, it is the conformity of the action to the rule that is important. The consequences of action are not the subject of any particular reflection or decision. From an ethical point of view, and the contrary, the professional is responsible for the consequences of his action and remains to so even when he chose to comply with the rule. He must seek to minimize the negative effect of this decision and be prepared to justify it by explaining his reasoning for acting to all those concerned. Always from the point of view of responsibility in relation to consequences, let's return to example the convenience signature. An engineer can refuse it by simply saying that he is obligated to obey to rules of his professional order. Ethics demands more take personal responsibility for this refusal. By able to justify it in terms of value, recognize the negative impact of your choice, and propose, as far as possible, a way to remedy it. These differences, it is easy to see, make ethic and deontology or professional conduct complementary resource, each has strength that compensate for the limits of the order. So, in this slide, we're going to move on to the second component of definitions, that is to say, artificial intelligence. Before defining artificial intelligence, we will first proceed to define intelligence. It is defined as the ability to acquire and apply knowledge. It is also the faculty of thought and reasoning. As for the definition of artificial intelligence by Turing test, Alan Turing. In 1950, Alan Turing proposed an operational definition of intelligence using component test. An interrogator, a person who will ask a question, a computer, an intelligent machine in B, a person, an human expert who will answer the question in A, and a curtain divisor. Donc, the computer passed the intelligence test if a human, after asking some writing question, can't tell if the answer were from person or not. Now, discussing the definitions of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is the study of complex systems that act in ways that appear to be intelligent to any human observer. It involves tracking methods based on intelligent behavior of human and other animals to solve very complicated and complex problems. It is concerned with real, difficult, and complex problems that require complicated process and knowledge of complex and sophisticated reasoning. Now, discussing the definition sense of artificial intelligence. Here, we will see an example of types of agent or system or object and their description, PEAS, performance, environment, actor, and sensor. In this table, for each type, object, or system, we have the component that come into play from the point of view of type of agent, performance of measurement, environment, and actor and sensor. For example system, taxi driver, medical diagnostic system, satellite image analysis system, parts controller robot, refinery controller, interactive language repeater. Here in this table, we have an example of task, environment, and their characteristics. For each type problem to be solved, such a GAM, taxi driver, medical diagnostic, etc., use will see in the column of the task of the phenomenon is observable entirely or partially, single agent or multi-agent, determinate or stochastic, episodic or sequential, static or dynamic, and discrete or continuous. Thank you for your attention. And of part 2, dealing with the definitions. The next part 3, dealing with the UNESCO forums and some international programs. To be continued to part 3. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.